If you're a landscaper in Maryland, you're probably wondering, why is landscape insurance so expensive? I work with landscape contractors all the time, and trust me, you're not crazy. In this video, I'll walk you through 7 reasons why landscape insurance is higher than you think and what you can do about it. So, first off, we just have to be clear. You are in a high risk industry, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong. You can cause damage to other people's property. You're digging, you're mowing, maybe you're cutting down trees. You have people that are doing physical labor. You have people that are driving trucks around with trailers. There's just a lot of ways that things can go wrong, which means if the insurance company has to pay for lawsuits and has to pay for medical bills and has to pay for damages to your equipment, it's just going to cost some money to insure that. So it's important to keep that in the back of the mind. But point number two is the type of work you do, your risky services can raise your premium. So it's one thing if you're mowing lawns and trimming hedges. It's a totally different thing if you're going to cut down trees. It's a totally different thing if you're going to do excavation work or hardscape work or if you're going to dig. All of those trigger different underwriting class codes on the insurance end. So you've got two options. Like you can either not do those things or you can just bake it in to what you're doing and what you're charging your customers. So if you're going to do hardscapes, just keep in mind insurance companies are going to treat you more like a masonry contractor in that situation. Or if you're going to be digging, they're going to be wanting to charge you for underground work. And if you accidentally cut cables underground. So bake that in to what you're charging your customers. It'll make what you pay feel less expensive. A third way that your insurance feels very expensive is you've got seasonal work and uninsured contractors can cost you a lot of money. I mean, here's how it is. You have seasonal flows to your business where you may be slow one month, but another month you're going to be paying for a lot of payroll. You're going to have a lot of people, and that can be very hard to predict the ebbs and flows of your business. And further, you may bring on some people that don't have their own workers' compensation insurance. And I'm going to tell you one of the fastest ways you're going to get mad about your premiums is when you have uninsured contractors, you pay on a 1099, and you thought you weren't going to have to buy workers' compensation insurance for them. And then at the end of the year, you're paying for workers' compensation insurance and you're mad because it's not cheap to insure workers' compensation for your employees. Which gets me into point number 4 when you're getting hit with audit adjustments. And there's two ways that this will happen. One is uninsured subcontractors, which we just kind of talked about. But the second is you have a much better year than you expected. Your revenues are higher, your payrolls are higher. And the thing about audits is that instead of being able to spread that out over the course of a year like you can with your insurance premiums, insurance come to you at the end of the year and say, "All right, great, you were 25% bigger than you expected to be, and we're going to need that 25% extra premium all at once." So there's a couple ways to get around this. One is you can either sit down 3 months before your policies renew and try and get a sense on what you told the insurance company was going to happen versus what actually happened and get out in front of it. Or you can get set up with a pay as you go program. Some people like to do that through their payroll service provider, but a lot of insurance companies will do that for you directly too. And while we're on the topic of payroll service providers, you just got to keep in mind that if you're going to choose who's going to do your workers' compensation insurance, you have to ask yourself a question. If you have an insurance problem, do you want a payroll service provider to fix that, or do you want an insurance broker? Just throwing that out there for you to think about. But still, at the end of the day, using a pay as you go service so that you're paying for your workers' compensation premiums based on the actual payroll you have, that's a great way to avoid audit problems. So, point number 5 that makes your insurance expensive is multiple assets make multiple premiums. So, you're going to have trucks, you're going to have equipment, you're going to have trailers, and you may or may not be bundling that all in the right way. Maybe you're renting equipment. All of this can add up. It's really important that you're bundling it all together and that you're getting the right equipment coverage. That If you're going to borrow a piece of equipment from someone, or if you're going to rent it, or if you're doing some type of hardscape job and you're going to have to transport materials and it's going to take a while to install all that, you got to think about all that when you're putting your program together, and it can drive your costs up. But at the same time, an uninsured claim is always more expensive than the insurance. So think about that. And then point number six is there's a lot of insurance carriers that will insure landscapers, but maybe they don't insure your type of landscaping business. So if you're going to go out there and do snow plowing, maybe they like the type of snow plowing you're doing. Maybe they don't. Maybe you're doing some excavation work. Maybe they like it. Maybe they don't. Maybe you're doing some digging. Maybe they like it. Maybe they don't. But it's easy to get something that looks like it fits you, but then you start digging underneath and then you're finding some gaps and it doesn't actually fit you. And the last thing to keep in mind is that point number seven, poor service costs you money. When it takes a while to get certificates of insurance, that keeps you off of job sites, that slows down how you getting paid. That costs you money. Bad service costs you money. So there you go. Those are 7 things. I hope it was helpful. If this was helpful, please hit like and subscribe. If you want to talk to me about your program and set some time up to talk about what you've got going on, my contact information is at my website, insuranceforontrepreneurs.net. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please go build something great.